Pick that phone up, bitches. It's
What's up,
Monday,
buddy?
cocksucker. What's happening? Tuesday. Who you kidding? Tuesday, the 19th. I'm officially 60 and fucking 7 months now. So I'm past the 60 and a half.
I didn't know you counted half birthdays now.
What are you going to do? Things are bad all over. How's your week going, Tarzan?
My week's going great. I had a lot of fun this weekend in Saratoga. That was a blast. Thank you to everyone who came out and said hi. I had a great week. And then I just, it's fun. I was driving back and I was just listening to my bets lose, which is fun the entire way back. And it was just the Green Bay Packers. They just fucking broke my heart yesterday.
You know, why are you messing with those people? They're still in the state of confusion up there. Papa's gone. They don't know what's going on. The other fucking
Jordan.
Let's start back to last Monday night.
Oh, God. I feel so bad for them.
I felt bad for them, but I got to be honest with you guys. I don't know. I'm a fucking old idiot. Corporations have risk assessment people. You know, that people have risk. I'm just a fucking, I don't know nothing about football. I don't know the games. But I know the money they were paying them and what they were expecting from them. Like I live here in New Jersey, and I go to the gym in the mornings, and they always have, when I ride the bike, they have like Sports Center on. And every morning it was like, are they going to win the Super Bowl? It was like, guys, the guy's 39. He's got a great defense. He's got a great offense. He's got not a good offensive line. And he's a different fucking Aaron Rodgers. He wears a ponytail now. He doesn't eat cheese. He's a vegan. That's a different world. That's like, me with stand-up. Like, if you hire me now for a headlining gig, you don't know what you're going to get.
Oh,
I'm going to go up there and improvise. That's why I don't take the gigs. He took the gig. He took the challenge. And he goes down 4 plays into it. The Jets, first of all, they're the fucking kiss of death. I was a Jet fan last night, my man Steve. I said, they got this. You know how the Scientologists give those fucking IQ tests?
Yeah.
They got to go to a Jet game with those fucking people and take IQ tests and go, why do you keep coming here? You're in no danger. You dress up with the fucking silver chain on like a Momo with the green shirt on. I mean, they make more on the shirts than what they do from selling tickets. And people pack it in every I don't understand. And I was telling my friends, like, I grew up here in the fucking 70s. And the expectations of your teams were so much bigger. Like, it's even Belichick in the 70s. Well, the New England Patriots didn't have that dynasty like, fucking the Jets had, like in the late 60s. They won in 69, But all these teams now, we just accept. We go to this fucking stadium. We pay $3 a ticket. And we got to go home and, like, you got to go back on the train with that jersey. They just got killed. Can you imagine the Giant fans last Sunday night had to get back on that train with that Giant shirt, 40-0? I light that thing on fire when I got home. I'd rather go home shirtless. You know what I'm saying?
Before we forget.
What happened? Oh, yeah. Hamas Satah. Happy Rosh Hashanah to all the Jews who struggle. I've been saying this since day one. Don't sleep on the Jews. They're making a strong comeback. But in reality, they never left. Bam.
I saw a clip today of an Ian Edwards joke where he's saying he likes Jews because they name their holidays after black women. And he said there's he knows 5 Rosh Hashanahs. It killed me. But listen, I hate every New York sports team, and maybe except the Mets. But I respect Jets fans. Like, they've been shitty.
I respect them too because they keep showing up. Even though nothing good's going to happen, they keep showing up. But now we're living in a fucking New York City area where all 4 teams are fucking god-awful. I mean, the Giants played a great game yesterday against Arizona.
But they're supposed to kill Arizona.
Huh?
Arizona is trying to lose. They got 2. They fired their backup quarterback, and they hired 2 backups. They signed 2 backups who had never played it, and they're doing great. Do you see that? There was that one where the Arizona quarterback ran it in, and the guy looks like he has like a health condition, like he has no hair. He rolled over the guy. Like he just killed him. But they ended up coming back.
The Giants came back, but never have I was hearing, I don't know, I was hearing the 80s, and the Giants, I think, ended up winning in 87 or something. They beat Denver or somebody, or I forget, the Bills and or New England. I have no idea, but I know that 86 was when the Mets won. So you have 4 teams, all of them. Like, okay, I don't expect all of them to be fucking championship teams, but there was something. It was always a ray of hope in New York, New Jersey area, and now you got 4 fucking bombs. The Yankees are what they are. If Judge hits a home run, they win. If he don't, we go home with nothing. With fucking lint in our pocket. The Mets are fucking atrocious. I try watching them. I'm an honorary Met fan from my mother, but it's so crazy with sports what we accept now. You look at these teams, and if they don't have a fucking quarterback, I mean, we're just dead. You just have no fucking team. You're just playing out there, and the quarterback is the biggest shortage in the NFL. But who gives a fuck about the NFL, my friend? Aaron Rodgers got $70 million. I got $2 in my pocket. At least I got my attendance. Knock on wood. How was your weekend, beautiful?
Everything was great. I was actually kind of proud of myself. So I'm so new at this stand-up thing, but when I first came back last April, if I was doing a show at like a club, I would pace. Like I hate walking, but I would pace. I would be so nervous about remembering. Like I'd just go over in my head, like from like each joke I wanted to hit in what order. And then I got a little bit less nervous about that. But if someone like yelled something out, even if I had a joke about it, I wouldn't follow it. I would just kind of like steamroll it. And I would always be disappointed because I felt like it could have been something like cool and seem a little bit more off the cuff and seem a little bit more like in the moment. And it happened on the Late Show Saturday. I don't know if you can relate to this. If you ask me to do 15 minutes, I have a pretty solid 15 now, and I have 20 and 25, but it's usually the same order. And Late Show Saturday was the first time that I like followed where the audience like wanted to go, I guess, like with IV. And it went great. It was like one of the coolest. It was like one of the most fun I've had on stage. And it was a small show, but it was, I don't know. I was just really happy that I went with it and followed where it was trying to take me.
Very interesting. When you called me Saturday night, I was watching the Colorado State game. When you called me, and when you told me that, it made me very excited because that's a big thing that a lot of comics don't know what to do. Do you address it or do you not address it? If you're in a room, working a room, and a waitress comes in and she's having a rough night and somebody bangs into her and she drops 3 glasses and the whole audience notices, you have to react to that in some way or form. I don't want you to go for it if there's nothing really there. Don't put the waitress down. There's so many fucking different things. Don't put the waitress down. I believe in one thing. Sometimes somebody says something that's so fucking stupid that if you join in, it's going to ruin the fucking show. But sometimes somebody gives you something and it's what do people call it? A hanging vine?
I've never heard that, but that makes sense.
It's just something that's there. It's like when you're going for a triangle in jiu-jitsu and and all of a sudden you switch it to an arm bar. You saw something. There was a hanging limb somewhere, and that's comedy. There's always a hanging limb. I always played it off. If I could take it somewhere, I address it. Sometimes they just throw something right on your fucking lap. And if you don't address it, you feel bad like you have been. But if you address it and they got somewhere to go with it, there's an old tape of mine that I was at the Flappers with you one night. I got on stage, and within the 2 fucking minutes, I got on stage. Some lady goes, "Talk about the Jews." You remember that? Okay, in my world, let's just use that for an example. If I go, shut up, lady. I don't talk about the Jews. They've suffered through, that's the typical Hollywood comic that would say it. Let's talk about the Jews. Let's talk about the fucking Jews. Obviously, she said that because she's Jewish. I had to look real close because I can't see in the dark. Rosh Hashanah says it to me, and fucking she's black. So I played with the Jew joke, and it won. It was good that night. Now, some nights is going to be bad, and some nights is going to be good. And some nights, Lee, you're going to have a 45-minute spot. And at the third minute of your show, somebody's going to say something, and you're going to run with it all the way to the end of the show. You're going to get off the stage going, I can't believe I didn't say a joke.
See, that gives me anxiety. I haven't done that. I've ad-libbed for maybe 3 minutes. Like I don't feel like I'm funny enough yet to just go off the cuff and not do material. When did you start doing that? Like not doing material?
When I first started comedy, I was very anal like you, and I would not go up there without a prepared set. And sometimes I would just do, like, let's say I had 3 minutes, I'd put like 3 jokes, equate them to be 1 minute apiece, but they'd be 10 seconds apiece.
Right.
And
yeah.
There with 2 fucking minutes of dead air. And I started reaching. That's what I call it, reaching, And then I got comfortable with comedy, but I came to New York, and I made one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of New York comics make is they speak to the audience. They call it ball busting. And for a while, I got involved in that. When you ball bust, you're telling me you don't have material. So when I come right up on stage and I'm like, how you doing? I'm Lee Syatt. What do you do for a living? And yes, it's entertaining for a while, but eventually a club owner is going to go, hey, do you have any material? You can't keep improvising in my club.
Really?
And some guys get really good at it. Some guys get really good at it, and I appreciate that. But again, it's like going to Vegas and throwing a 50-50 dice. I don't know where my set's going to go. And that's great when you're an MC in a feature act. But when you're a headline, unless you're really good at it, they're paying 25, 35, 45 bucks to see you. That's great that you could talk to the audience for 20 minutes, but they're there to hear about you and your world. How your world is different from their fucking world.
Do you ever use it as a way to like mine new material? Like if you weren't headlining, like if you were doing a set at like the Ice House or the Store, but you never really, I don't even really remember you doing it that much. You would ad-lib yourself, but I don't really remember you talking to the crowd that much.
No, because it took me it's like playing basketball and getting a rebound and dribbling and going right back up. That's the worst thing you could do in basketball as a forward, is bring the ball to the ground and dribble it. And once you start to doing it, it's a hard fucking habit to break. And once you start talking to the audience, it's a very hard habit to break. It's a habit that I started in 92 and a half when I started at the Broker as a house MC. And then I came to New York in 93 and I fueled it with the clubs in New York. I saw it working and I would try to do it. And then when I moved back to Colorado, tail end of 93, again, I was back into there. And then something happened in 94 that I got to start writing material. And I did. But when I got to Seattle, I started doing it again. Thank God, Seattle was a little bit more structured of a city for me. And the club managers spoke to you after your set. With my situation was a gentleman named Carl Womanhoven. I just spoke to him on Facebook the other day. He was the club manager on Mondays. And he would always talk to you a little bit. And he said to me, you don't want to take that habit down to LA.
And what was it about him that like you took his advice? Because I would imagine there'd be some club managers who'd be like, fuck you.
He was very knowledgeable about stand-up and just the way he spoke to you. It was never disrespectful in any way or sense. And then I gained respect from him, and I would talk to him after all my sets. Yeah, I would talk to him after all my sets. Just, why not? on a Monday and Tuesday, why not?
What are there any other? Because I have one, like, bad habits that you got into as a stand-up on stage.
Speaking to the audience, going on stage with a bottle of alcohol.
Really?
As,
Okay.
as a young comic, you're trying to be cool. You're trying to, those guys that go up on stage with the drink with the fucking straw and they suck on it or they jiggle the ice cube. It's been done already. Be original, you know, be original. You're going to go up there with the drink to get calm. Who's got their drink on? First time I go see a comic, because who's got their drink on, I abandon the fucking ship. What's it got to do? What joke is there about my drink on?
Right.
You
'Cause
know, you
I had like a terrible, and I told you about it, for like 3 to 6 months. I was jumping off early. Like, sometimes, like, right as the light hit, I don't know what it was, and I didn't want to, and I tried to fight it, but I was so nervous about running the light that I just, like, for, like, months couldn't help but get off, like, 2, 3 minutes early, and
well,
thankfully it stopped, but
when I first became a comic for the first 5 to 6 years, I was speaking in English, but I was talking in Spanish.
what does that
What
mean?
that meant was I was talking in English, but I was using my Cuban speed talking techniques to get through the jokes because I was very petrified. We all
Right.
do that. If you told me I had 5 minutes, I swear to God, I would do 2, and I'm like, "I'm good with that." Well, no, you're not good with that. You gotta go up there and do your material. You give me 15 minutes, I can show up and do 8 and go, "I'm good." For a long time, that was my bad habit. I'm good. No, bitch, go up there and you owe me 7 fucking minutes. That was a hurdle. Learning how to slow it down, get the confidence to slow it down, assert yourself. And it's something with your body language where you're holding your ground, but you're not in a fight. It's the Florida rule hold your ground, whatever. And some guy with dirty feet hits you in the head with a fucking bottle. But no, the whole thing is fucking once it, and it takes years, guys. To hold your ground technique is just my confidence. You're not getting around me. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not getting around me. That's what you're thinking about, but that body language lets them know that you're running things. You know,
Yeah.
a person gets heckled because he gave 3 or 4 people the idea that he was self-conscious or insecure. What gives you that idea? So that's when the heckling starts. Everybody gets heckled. I got heckled, except I didn't. A lot of times, I let them throw the heckle up, and you don't assert. You know it's a stupid heckle. And if you do heckle back, you're going to get into an argument, and that's not what your crowd came to see. You winning an argument on stage is not what your crowd came to see.
Yeah, that's
So, what's that?
I it's one of my least favorite things as, like, a stand-up fan is when I go and, like, the comic is right away, like, talking shit on the audience. Like, they
Well,
yell at them.
that's a young comic. That's a young comic that thinks that, like myself, audiences are different. I used to pre-qualify audiences. Like, look at these guys are old. They're not going to get that joke. No, all audiences are the same. You're the one that fucked up this episode. You're the one that fucked up this set. And it's like anything else. You got 10 sets. You're going to bomb all 10 of them the first couple of weeks. Then after that, you pick up momentum. You do well 2 of the 10 sets, and then 3 of the 10 sets. Then you bomb for 25 sets, and then you destroy for 6 sets. The whole goal is of getting on stage so much that you flip the percentages on them. And now I'm not going on. Now I'm trying to hold my fuck. I would love to bomb before I got off comedy. Hold on. There you go. Salud, cocksucker. The colostrum is working, Jack.
Ooh, what the fuck
So
is colostrum?
it's breast milk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You drink breast milk now?
Yeah, I got a little chick in the garage. I hang her upside down. I suck her titties. Oh. I fucking got it's a powder you order. And you mix it in,
Okay.
put it in with the liquid IV.
Whew, I'm sweating. Oh, I
You know how you
don't
do.
miss those farts.
No, it's a good one. It smells pretty healthy. It's got some K-beta-carotene, whatever the fuck. Ketabeta. I don't know. Listen, what are you bothering me for? I got 600 in me and 2 from the afternoon, 2 pieces of fucking psilocybin mushrooms, you know.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
not cocksuckers. We got New Orleans right now. We got they're playing, I forget who Carolina's playing.
Carolina.
And then at 8:15 tonight, we got ourselves a fucking old school rivalry. The Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson and a bunch of masseuses showing up to Pittsburgh. Showing up to Pittsburgh up there to fucking who the fuck knows, man. I'm just happy to see you. I had a great weekend. My brother Mike came up from Delaware.
Oh, he did?
My brother Mike Runny.
Yeah, I
came
remember.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came up from Delaware. We hung out Saturday night. We went and got a great fucking steak. And then we went up to the Meadowlands, to the racetrack.
Do they have
And
races?
no, I go up there to see a fucking play by the Liza Minnelli. Yeah, they got races, cocksucker.
I don't know. They closed a lot of those things.
I'm gonna be as honest as I can with you. I didn't even know the racetrack was behind me till I was getting ready to leave. Because
What were you doing?
we went to the FanDuel Center because my friend was playing on the 3rd floor, his band, the Past Masters. Steve
okay.
Avila, kid I
Yeah.
grew up with since day one. Great band. The guy from the Good Rats was there. They did Take It to Detroit. Fucking great. It was on a rooftop. I didn't drink any alcohol. I smoked like 15 joints and I went up there. I ate a couple mushrooms and I listened to them. I saw a bunch of kids from high school, bunch of girls from high school. It was great to see them.
I'm surprised you even went down there.
What's that?
I'm surprised you even went down there.
Trust me too. But I had to get out of the house. I had to go see my man Avillo. It's been too long, you know. And it was a perfect night. You know, it was perfect. It's September in New York City, brother. San Gennaro feast started last Thursday, and I still haven't gone over there because I want to go in the daytime. But the nights this week are going to be so fucking beautiful. Like it rained here all day, but tonight's fucking beautiful.
Is it your favorite time in New York in the fall?
Yes, it is. Yes.
What about because I love everything about New York, but like, why is the fall your favorite?
Because it's just something in the air. The Yankees are in the playoffs. No, not this year. Hello. That's why when 9/11 happened, it hit me so hard because I knew that's the time of the year it'll be in New York City. Now their little fucking fiesta was torn down by. So I always think of that. Like, I love this time of the year in New York City. It's fucking beautiful. It really is beautiful. It's a nice.
It's not too hot.
You know what I'm saying? When you get mugged now, you don't feel so bad. When you get hit on the street by some guy who hates Asians, you don't feel so bad. I got hit on 52nd Street. It was a beautiful day. The sun was out. I landed in a puddle full of piss instead of fucking acid. You know, whatever.
Oh, thank God. Have you gotten mugged in New York?
When I was a kid, they tried to mug me in the Bronx. Yeah, I got chased. I went to a fucking toy store in the Bronx. My mother's dry cleaner was around the corner. And you knew in those days you had to be careful up in the Bronx. So I had the $20 bill in my sneaker. It smelled like fucking Gorilla Glue and fucking God knows what else. And when I went to get it at the toy store, when they gave me the change, the kids saw me. And sure enough, I walk out of there and fucking I got 3 little fucking kids walking behind me. And then I just started running on Tremont Avenue. When I ran, I made it to the dry cleaner before they could get their filthy little hands on me. And then maybe a year later, they tried to mug me in Central Park for my lunchbox.
I remember that one.
Yeah. And then, but pretty much when you're walking around, like I was trained to walk up there in the 70s and 80s. It was, listen, I could tell you a bunch of lies. It was what it was. how you present yourself on stage, how you stand up, that confidence. It's the same thing when you're walking those streets. So it's just something that you learn. We were talking about last week about how I don't touch the microphone and people
Mm-hmm.
lose their mind. Once I found that, but it took years for me to get there. I just didn't pop up on stage and go, I'm not going to touch the microphone. It took years of trial and error. And that trial and error, how to touch the mic, how to hold you. You ever see an open mic when he pops his elbow up and he's green?
On the
I,
mic stand?
I could tell what you're doing by the way you hold the mic.
You've always told me that, and I've always followed your thing. I know you're gonna give me shit for this. Have you watched any of Mrs. Maisel on Amazon?
No.
And I'm sure you hate it. The one thing that, and because I actually like the show, the one thing that upset, she always leaves the mic stand in front of her, which is like, I don't take the mic out, but that's the one thing like everyone taught me is like, if you're gonna take the mic out, you got to move the mic stand. And she always leaves it in front of her. It bugs the shit out of me. You don't like that show?
Everybody has their own thing. And when you pull her aside and you ask her one night, like when you're having coffee, Miss Maisel, why do you leave the fucking microphone there? She'll tell you. She'll tell you something that in her mind, she thinks she's fat and she fucking wants to hide behind the mic. I mean, we all have the craziest fucking reasons, Lee. Everybody has a fucking different reason on why they do things. Lee, what works for me might not work for you. And what works for you might not work for me. I was talking to Lenny Clark the other day, great Boston comic.
Mm-hmm.
He was in one of Rodney's specials with Bill Hicks and Dice. He was there. He was fucking there. And we were talking about something. And I go, I don't know how you're feeling today, but I want you to know something. That for a year, I tried to be you. I went out and I bought so many suits on a credit card. Like I had a credit card from my divorce.
Right.
And I would go to whatever it was called. I forget the store. The guy's name was Bob Schultz. And I would get a suit from him every week. And it would always have to have a label inside. Even if I would get like a label to put in there. Because Lenny Clark, when he did the set that night, his jacket opened and he had a label in there. I loved that look on stage. I tried it for a year. And then I had to finally fucking give back the suits because it wasn't working for me. But I didn't know until I tried.
Was it that you didn't feel comfortable? Do you think the audience didn't like? Not that they didn't believe that you'd wear a suit.
The audience wasn't buying it. You can't put a silk hat on a pig. The audience was not fucking buying it. And I'm okay with that. They want me to be a hooded sweatshirt, sneakers, Adidas, jeans. That all came to play later on. I used to wear work boots on stage. That don't work. I'm not a construction fucking worker. How do I find this out? By trying.
I'm very lucky to get to go and do some shows with Josh Wolf every once in a while. And he told me that he would do like experiments for a year. Like for a year, he sat down on stage. For a year, he walked around. For a year, he left it in the stand. And like it like, so it's, to me, it's so scary to test things out like that because I feel like every time I do a set anywhere, I'm like trying to prove that I belong there.
Well, that's the other thing. I was thinking about that, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let's say you're a feature act. Let's say you're an MC and you go to, let's just make up a club, Joey's Steakhouse. And then you go the first year as an MC. Then the second year, he really likes you and he puts you as a feature. And then he puts you in there again as a feature. Now you're in there, one MC and 2 feature times. He pretty much likes you. You know what? On a Thursday night and on a Wednesday night, I don't know why you're not experimenting. On a Sunday night, I don't know why you're not experimenting. They already like you. You're not going to lose I get the first 2 times you perform there, you want to be like, listen, nobody wants to eat a bag of shit, but you got to try you got to try your new stuff. And you have to, I really like, listen, man, I love stand-up. And I love being impressed by stand-up. I love watching a stand-up and going, fuck. fuck, and saying I can never do that today. I
Right.
can't do that today. Tomorrow, maybe in a year. So I always like to keep it fresh. You know me. You've worked with me for years. You know that I like to even move my material from set to set, even if it's just a material change, because
Oh,
that'll
you
throw them off. How many fucking people come to the early show and the late show? How many
a
fucking times
ton.
would I do a show in Chicago and then the dumb agent would book me like in Toledo, Ohio, and it's the same fucking audience 4 hours away? Now they're telling me I went to see you in Chicago, and I'm like, God damn it. I got to come up with material out of my ass because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's one day or 6 months ago. If you see me within a year, I should have new material.
Well,
When I come to your town once a year, every 18 months,
right.
I should have a new 45 minutes. There should not be a joke heard. There should not be so many fucking things.
But the
And I'm
crazy
like,
thing with you
God, bro.
was even way before I started stand up, when like back with It's Either You or the Priest, the first thing that we did, the first CD that we did, everyone else, when they're recording a CD or a special, they might move around the order a little bit. They might change a word here or there. You never did the same joke the same way. Now, like it blew my mind, and it would annoy me because I was trying to edit it between it. But like I don't even know. To this day, I don't know how you did that.
Well, it's 20 years, Lee. It's 20 years. At the end of 20 years, if you don't have a complete grasp on this art, you didn't work this fucking art. Okay. If you don't have a complete grasp of it, somebody told me that's great that you're doing comedy 10 years. Come see me when you're doing comedy 20 years. And I gotta be honest with you, they were right. I saw a lot of improvement, a lot of confidence, remember I told you that before the pandemic, that last year before the pandemic, I was learning things. I was going on stage and doing something and going, where the fuck did I get that from? Not to you or anybody else, to myself. And for some reason, my mind would take me to the specific night where I was in Montana or Salt Lake City doing a triple run or doing some club. Who the fuck knows? But I would say, wow, thank God I did that night, because I would have never done it. Like, it's just crazy. You just improve, but you got to give it a fucking chance. And now with Instagram and Twitter and all this shit, it makes the comedian take 50% of his time to work on that, when he should just be focused on the stand-up part of it for the first 5 or 4 years. I would, because I know I'm just pissing somebody off on Instagram with my stupid fucking jokes.
Right. And you know what? There's been a lot of talk, and and it doesn't even matter about the specific comic, but there's been a lot of talk about how much of your act is coming from truth and how much of it is made up. Do you have any opinion on being able to, not fabricate, but make things funny and change what happened? And
Let me give you a story here that I always thought about. I was very scared of always doing this joke. I was petrified of doing this joke, Lee. And when I would do it, I would go, fuck, I'm done after tonight. I'm going to wake up on Monday and there's going to be a notice at my door. And there's going to be 3 police officers with an animal control animal, because people will just believe anything. I had a joke that I did coke with my cat.
okay, yeah.
Okay. The story of the matter was, let's get down to basics. One night I came home fucked up on coke, or I was getting coked up there. And the cat came over to me. And anybody who's done cocaine, you're lonely. So I kind of started talking to the cat, like, what do you think? And I caught myself and I'm going, am I fucking retarded? In that whole conversation, like, I thought that he was talking back to me. Like, not like with his words, like, hey, you're a fucking idiot, but telepathically, just again, in my cocaine derived mind, in 2001 or 2002. And one night I was really fucked up, and he came out to sit with me. He wouldn't sit with me. He'd sit right here by the computer, and I'd be on the computer making believe I wasn't coked out, but I really was. Just
Right.
so the fucking guy in the circle there that's watching me wouldn't see me doing coke. I would hide from the little
Remember
circle.
the camera?
Yeah, yeah. And I gave him one night. I took a coke rock and he sniffed it. Like his nose, the coke rock wouldn't have fit in his fucking nose. So I put it in the middle and he just like sniffed it and he went away. That was it. That's the true story. What did I turn it into?
Yeah, I
He
love that
bothered
joke.
me for 2 weeks. I gave him a line. So I turned a 3-minute story into a 25-minute story. It was 80% fabricated. But that's what made it funny. Everybody knew I wasn't doing coke with my cat. But I knew eventually there'd be some motherfucker that would go, dog. Yeah. That was the most uncomfortable position I've ever been in. And I would talk about getting paranoid with him, that we look out windows together. It's something that happened, and I took it to the next level of fabrication. But everybody knew, you know what I'm saying? When I told the hooker story, that was the real story. The fabrications were exaggerations of what we were doing. Like when we had a fist fight in the car and we threw punches at each other for 10 minutes. That's a lie. That's a plain out lie. We probably threw 2 smacks at each other and everybody was yelling and screaming because everybody was nervous. A black chick in a car with a wigs swinging a fucking straight razor. That's never a good fucking look right there. You know what I'm saying?
But do you view
So,
it as a lie?
huh?
Like that word, I don't view it as a lie. It's not a speech. It's a, we're trying to make people laugh. A lie to me seems like very negative. Like we're doing something to. I don't know. I don't view it as a lie.
I never told a joke that was completely fabricated. Like I was in the city one day trying to get some weed, and I was here. I was in New York City. I wasn't living here. I was passing through, and I
Mm-hmm.
landed at Port Authority, and I checked my bags at like one of those lockers, and I
Mm-hmm.
took the A train up to Harlem, and I went looking for weed, and I couldn't find it. And the next thing you know, I went to get the A train back, and when I went downstairs, I saw a crack hole. I was on the phone with Josh Wolf, and he'll tell you that the girl came up to me and she's like, "For $3 and a lighter, I'll suck your dick." And I'm like, "Josh, did you hear that?" I did a whole bit on that years later. That and it was basically for $3 and a lighter, I'll suck your dick. And I go, "Hold on," and this is the true story. I go, "How about $1 and a book of matches?" Go fuck yourself, you fat stinky motherfucker. And I'm like, "Fuck you, bitch." And she walked away and she came back and she goes, "Okay, $2." I mean, it was just something that it was. And at the end, what do you think? I'm gonna go into a fucking cave with it or sucking my dick? You're crazy for $2. Listen, it's like getting a fucking porterhouse steak for $2. You're eating somebody's fucking possum. You're
Right.
not eating no steak. You know what's a $2 blowjob at a train station gonna be like? Your dick's
AIDS.
gonna be purple until next fucking whatever Rosh Hashanah. You can't even go to grandma's to eat the fucking soup because your dick is purple. It's a $2 blowjob. I was never gonna go into that. I don't think the joke took me to that she sucked my dick. It was like we got into an argument and she had a black eye and which she did. And that was the truth. I said to her, "Well, you smoke crack." And she goes, "No, I fell down or something." I forget what the whole thing was. But that was something that happened that I turned into something else.
And you don't, because I don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel like they had a whole article about someone, and I just don't. I don't know. I don't feel like it's a negative thing. I don't feel like we're going out there telling our life story like it would be crazy. Like that's, I don't know. I don't. Do you feel like your life is, maybe your life is funnier than most. I just feel like, you take that's what like learning how to make things funny is. So that's why I think storytelling is so hard. I'm not good at it right now.
Right
Like
now,
it's
right
so
now,
hard.
today.
It's so much different. Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, you're looking at it different. I did too. I didn't discover storytelling till 1999. I was 9 years into comedy, and I moved to LA, and the vagina monologues was big, so I wanted to do something to compete with it, and I called it the Testicle Testaments. And then years later, you and I revisited them with stories
Uh-huh.
because that's the story. The Testicle Testament was a story where you found out you had balls. Not that you fucked a neighbor, not that you beat up Nikki from the corner, a different situation. But hold on, we'll leave it at that. I got to give a word out to my sponsors this week before the fucking game starts. They get their action in. All right? Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. And now for a word from our sponsors. We're back, Jack. Anyway, we were talking about fucking telling the story, and that's all stand up is. Stand up is whatever you want it to be. It's an art. It could be storytelling, it could be one liners. Basically, it's how your world collides with the rest of the world. When I told the story about punching a fucking nun in the head, who would ever think of attacking a fucking nun? That collides with people's inner. That's what you're doing. You're colliding with their inner structure. This motherfucker went out a nun when he was 10 years old. What the fuck? That's what it is. Was the nun story a lie? Not at all. Was it exaggerated at parts? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what makes it funny.
Right.
And if people don't understand that, who gives a fuck? That's what the problem is with stand up today. You got too many chiefs and not enough Indians. There's too many people laying claims on people's sets, and they're looking and who the fuck are you? You
Right.
never even lasted as a fucking stand up for a year. Let me see your fucking tapes on stand up. That's why I joined jujitsu because I was really pissed off when I would watch UFC or listen to MMA fighting coverage. These people putting these fighters down, but they've never done the training. I'm horrible at jujitsu, horrible. But I go because so I understand what these guys go through. It's always people who want to put this shit down that don't go through that at some level. They don't know what it is to fucking sleep in a bus or, they can't understand. You got in the Trailways bus to do a free set 2 hours away. There's some people that'll never understand that. But they'll
Right.
dress up like a fucking pygmy and go to a Raider game and jump up and down like a fucking gugoots. So we all have our different fucking faults, Lee.
Oh, absolutely. But that brings because you've always for years have equated stand up to like fighting. Like you can see parallels. I was trying to think because I've been watching a lot of football. We've been talking about football. To me, like I always hear, like defense wins championships. You can't we can't be a good team without defense. Is there something like that relates that to stand up? Is there one part of stand up that you think is like if you don't have this, you're not going to be a good stand up?
Well, the number one thing about a stand-up is insight and how he looks at things. The difference on how he could thwart the thought, like George Carlin was fucking the king of that. He could look at something, Anthony Jeselnik. There's so many guys that have an eye. I was watching some Mitch Hedberg about a week ago. Oh my God. He was talking about something fucking simple. And he broke it down to the common denominator. When I watch Mitch Hedberg, I realize how lazy we've become as stand-up comics. Because
Why?
Mitch Hedberg wrote a fucking hell of a joke, bitch. Mitch Hedberg wrote a hell of a fucking joke. And a hell of a bit. And there was just something about it. I just saw one of his sets on Instagram. Maybe a couple days ago. I don't know. And it was fucking brilliant. And listen, storytelling, and I'm the first one to tell you this, storytelling, speaking to the audience. And I know some people are going to disagree with me, but it's you're going away from the stand-up routine. I was raised that the stand-up routine is a set-up punchline, and you can have that in storytelling. How do I know? Because I did it in storytelling. But at first, I just want you to grasp set-up punchlines. That's the most important thing to grasp. And, let your mind go wherever the fuck it goes. You saw Duncan on stage with with a dummy singing fucking Wish You Were Here, let it go. Who gives a fuck what they think? It's what you fucking think anyway. That's what stand-up is how your world collides with everybody else's fucking world. That's why people will say to you, I can't believe you're driving 4 fucking hours to pick up $50. They don't see it that way. You do. You see something to it. But then again, you don't see the profit in selling Amway and knocking on doors and telling people, hi, I have an iron for sale. That guy probably does that for a living. So never, just with stand-up, listen, man, I wasn't the best writer in the world. I told you last week, it was all energy with me. I knew how to throw my voice. I knew how to command you with my voice. I knew how to, the word isn't command. It's controlled by different levels of your voice and different pitches. These are things that I had to use. Some people use steroids. Some people use this. The more sets you do, you find out how you could take advantage of every situation. From the marijuana use, I want you to not smoke dope and go on stage right now. Not you. You could do whatever the fuck you want. But these guys, 1 to 3, focus on the stand-up. Focus on the stand-up. And just write. I want you to, well, Joey, people say that if I do current affairs, current events, the joke only lasts for a week. Yeah, but you don't understand. You're writing. It's an exercise. It's a fucking great exercise. It's funny. The other night when you called me and were talking about me about your set on Saturday night, I thought about one night when I was at the Improv and I was showcasing for APA.
Okay.
And I was at home all afternoon, just writing notes with no shirt on, smoking cigarettes. I was fucking just trying to write jokes. And I'm trying to write all these fucking Mitch Hedberg type jokes, which I never was. But all of a sudden, it's eyewitness news. And in LA, they give you eyewitness news and they go to in La Habra. And I swear to God, these are the first 2 stories. In La Habra, a kid gets stuck in a sewer and they go to La Habra and the little fat Mexican kid is stuck in the sewer, and his parents are begging to come out. He's stuck. All you can see is his little head and the fire department's rubbing butter on him and pulling him out of there. And he's like, And I don't know what happened. And they go, we're going to another story in Hawaiianville, down there. Where all the not the Hawaiians are, Tua Tatapupu, the quarterback from the fucking Miami Dolphins. Where's he from?
Hawaii, isn't he from Hawaii?
Right. They have it's where my man, God rest his soul, the quarterback from Colorado,
Samoa,
Oceanside. I'm sorry. No, the guy that died in the 90s, that he got the coach's daughter pregnant. Anyway,
I don't know that one.
Yeah, you guys don't know Dick. Relax. Fucking, he's from Oceanside. So, what we fucking talking about here? Now the edibles are starting to kick in.
It was the second news story.
Right. So the second news story, we're going live to Oceanside, and they show a Samoan guy and a Samoan girl arguing on the street, and she's holding on to a truck, right?
Okay.
And all of a sudden, you see the little Samoan, because the Samoan chick was bigger than the Samoan guy. This is one of those fucking rare situations. They were dating. And all of a sudden they show the Samoan guy haul off and punch the Samoan chick in the face. And she basically goes down like a Weeble's wobble, bangs her head, and pops back up to her feet. In that instant, the guy got in her truck and started taking off. And you see her chasing him down the street. Her sandal had broken off, and she had one sandal on. Her feet were like mine, big, dry, and ugly, with missing toenails and shit. And she's running and chasing the truck. And all of a sudden you see her dive into the truck and he speeds up and she misses. And she concrete and you see it get like torn up. He's like taking off, beep, beep, talking about Hawaiian music and Don Ho and shit. So I go to this fucking APA thing an hour later, 2 hours later, and I get up on stage, and I thought I had 2 great jokes, and I threw out my first 2 jokes, and guess what happened? Dick. That's what happened. I didn't get even a peep. And something made me stop, and I said, anybody wants the news tonight? Anybody see that fat little kid get stuck in the sewer? And I just went with it. What the fuck was he doing in the sewer? Looking for a fucking burrito? You fat fuck. Get home. Do your homework. I just ran with it. And then I went into the Oceanside thing. I didn't even know what I was talking about. But it was a 7-minute showcase. So I killed 5 minutes with those 2 jokes. And then I threw my closer in. Voila. Fucking. But the bad news was APA never signed me. You know what I'm saying? So
did they like that stuff right off the cuff though?
The audience liked it. I really did. I'll never forget those 2 because, and after that I started watching the news, but the jokes weren't any good after that. It was just that particular 2 stories, you know.
That's crazy. That's really, it's, you know what, man, I really appreciate, I love being your friend, but like, it's one of the most frustrating parts about comedy is I feel like most comics at my level don't have anyone to talk to about this stuff.
They don't.
So I love just being able to throw this stuff out there.
They don't. And I like that you call me after your shows while it's still fresh on your mind, because it gives me a couple days to think about an answer for you. But I swear to God, when you were telling me that story, that's all I thought about was fucking the
fat Mexican,
that little Mexican kid that got stuck in the sewer. Poor bastard. I wonder where they are today. He's probably got a bunch of tattoos in place of where he fucking sewer boy.
Oh, he probably does cameos. I was a sewer boy. And
so let's talk about football for this week coming up, my friend.
So, but listen, I got the only bet I've ever won. I beat you in Kansas City Jaguars. I'm happy about that one.
I saw that. Congratulations, cocksucker.
That's the only one I'm going to have all season.
Crazy. Don't get too crazy. Remember, when you go to DraftKings, you got a motherfucking profit boost. Right now, you got the Saints and Carolina at 3 apiece. The line is still Cleveland 2.5 over the Steelers. Who do you like there in the second game? Fuck nut.
I'm going to go with Cleveland because I feel like Pittsburgh, and I actually have. Do I have Pittsburgh? No, but I think Cleveland's going to beat Pittsburgh. I think Cleveland's pretty good. They got that good. They got Nick Chubb on defense.
Okay, now Thursday night, you got the Giants against the 49ers in San Francisco. San Francisco's given 10.5 points to the poor Giants. They had a great game in Arizona. What do you like there, Tarzan?
I think that one, to me, is going to be I think San Francisco, is going to just destroy them. I don't think it's going to be close. But the stuff with the points there freaks me out. Like I looked at that one, I'm like 10 plus, a lot of fucking points. I think San Francisco is going to kill them, but you don't make any money betting just San Francisco to win. Because San Francisco to win was like minus, 1,200 or something last time. I don't even know what, but if
you bet the Giants getting $25, you only win 47. So if you bet fucking San Francisco and you bet 25 on them, you win 47. With this, you win either or. If I take the money line on San Francisco, I win $4.54 if they win.
Right, that's nothing.
So with football, the thing I like about DraftKings is the more legs you add, the more money you win. So for a guy like me, like last night, I didn't do it yesterday because I did something else yesterday afternoon. I would always bet Shaquan to score a touchdown. He scored 2 yesterday, but I didn't bet anything. So when I bet the Giants, I would usually bet Shaquan, get a profit boost. That's what I like the most. Tonight, you get a 50% profit boost for any Monday night game. So that means if I opt in to the profit boost at DraftKings tonight, and they don't have these all the time. And that's why I tell people you got to jump on top of these cocksuckers. So before was now, what the fuck? Where's my draft boost here?
But those things, they got me last night with that. I had Tyreek Hill 75 yards or more, and they gave me like a 100% profit boost, and he had 40 yards. The only good thing the Patriots did last night.
Okay, so with the profit boost, I make $48 if I bet Pittsburgh. And with the profit boost, hold on. This is a good profit boost. I get $57.60. So it just went up on a $25 bet. So if I take Cleveland Browns minus 2.5, I get a 50% profit boost, maximum 100% wager. How you gonna act if your fucking rims aren't clean? Anyway, you got the Giants in San Francisco. You also got Buffalo and Washington. And the
Buffalo should
Commanders
destroy him again.
plus 6.5. You got Jacksonville playing the Houston Texans in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that one. There's a lot of like one-sided ones next week, I think.
Yeah, you got Miami playing the Broncos in Miami. Their first home game of the season, given 6.5. That'll probably go up to 7. This is a phenomenal game next week. Indianapolis Colts against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Baltimore given 7.5. Detroit's playing Atlanta in Detroit, given 3.5. I'm going to go with Detroit on that game.
Can I pause you for 1 second? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
For the Colts and the Baltimore. See, that one I think Baltimore should win, but when I checked before, the over-under was 44. Yeah. And I think it's going to go because I look. So this is when I don't know if I'm overthinking it. The Colts have allowed 31 and 20 points.
Yeah, you're overthinking it.
You don't think it's going to be over 44?
Don't work for it. Yeah, but let the line. It's only Monday. Let the line breathe for a couple of days, and let's see where it goes before you start making selections on over. No, because that shit could shift 3 points. Something could happen there on the 3 points. So, yeah, listen, man. Ravens could throw up some points. Mm-hmm. And Indianapolis Colts got a new quarterback. This is pointing at an over and under. You're like, well, shouldn't it go over? You never seen a bookie with a part-time job. Next, New England Patriots against the Jets in Horrorland Day. The Jets look at this. New England's given 3 points.
And I feel so bad for whatever his name is, the Jets quarterback, but we just destroy him. I think we're gonna win this game, but if we lose to the Jets, if the Patriots lose to the Jets, Bill Belichick should have to retire. That would be embarrassing.
I was watching him last night, and I'm like, with all the great things he's done, it's time for somebody to tap him on the shoulder and say it's time to go. You've won I don't know how many rings. You've done so many great things. You got a team that you don't have enough time to turn them around.
No.
Like he's got to start all fucking new again with these guys. He's too old. He's done what he had to do. He has nothing to prove to the people of Boston or New England or anybody. So who gives a fuck? Anyway, you got the Chargers playing the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know. I don't like these two teams. Cleveland Browns are playing the Titans -4. Let's see what happens tonight. Arizona is playing the Cowboys in Arizona. Arizona's plus 12 points. Kansas City's playing Chicago at home. Kansas City's minus the 13. I like that bet. Pittsburgh is giving 1 to the Raiders. And next Monday night, you got, what is this shit? 2 fucking games again? These people getting fucking creepy. Philadelphia against Tampa Bay and the Rams against Cincinnati. That's a great game in Cincinnati. I think my boy is hurt. What's the matter?
Joe Burrow, yeah.
Huh?
Joe Burrow is hurt, yeah.
And Major League, I've been doing okay. This is what I like about here, man. Let me see. The Mets and Marlins are tied up. Cincinnati's winning. You know I got them tonight with the profit boost, and I also got Philadelphia over Atlanta and Atlanta. It's the 3rd inning. If you know anything about Atlanta, they come back fucking every game. You bet them money line. Right now, Atlanta's losing by 2. if you put a $25 ball, now they're not taking fucking money line because I decided to hit the fucking board. They think I'm Lee Syatt. Here you go, boom. So if I take the money line right now for Atlanta, if I bet $25 on the Atlanta Braves right now in the third inning, you get back $77.50.
Are they losing?
Yeah. But in the third inning,
Okay.
they're losing to Philadelphia. They got Phillies pitching a great guy tonight. I forget what his fucking name is. It don't matter. And but that's Monday night. I like looking at baseball because everybody's betting football. Listen,
Right.
it doesn't mean you're a big shot if you know who's going to win New Orleans or Carolina. It doesn't make you a big shot if you know who's going to win Cleveland, Pittsburgh. You know what makes you a big shot? That you win money, whether it's $25 or $10. So tonight, all the focus in sports is on Monday Night Football. A guy like you, a slick little hustler, boom! You know what I'm saying? Fucking get a 50% boost on any live MLB bet tonight. What I'm going to do is this right now, right in front of you cocksuckers. I'm going to opt into that. And I'm actually, who shot that duck? And I'm actually going to put, come on, cocksucker. I'm actually going to put 25 on Atlanta. Bonus available. The bonus is MLB 50% live bonus, maximum $100 wager, 50% profit boost. So now if I take Atlanta the money line, they win. I put $25 in to win 111.15.
Jesus.
You know, guys, this is not to be popular at the bar and tell your friends who won. If you're gonna bet, you're doing it to win fucking money. And you're trying to double your investment. So if I put 25 down, 47 is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I got Chinese lunch. I got bitches. I got bills to pay. I got gas for my fucking car. You know. So, what's your favorite pick of the week there, Tarzania? If you had a bet.
I think the Chargers are going to beat Minnesota. I think that I have a couple unders. I think the New England versus the Jets is going to go under 37. That's what I saw it at. Right now, I understand you want to wait on it, but I think that both offenses suck and we both have good defenses. And the other one I had was the Colts in Baltimore over 44.
Yeah, I like that too. I like the Ravens too, kid.
Yeah, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson's great. And I like the Colts, and I like their new quarterback, but they pulled him out of the game last week because he had a concussion. So they might have like their backup in. So I don't know. Those are the three. Because the other one, and you said it today with Saquon, the anytime touchdown, Ramondre Stevenson. I don't think he has a touchdown yet this year. If he does, it's not for the Patriots because I think the Patriots are gonna beat the Jets. If we don't. It's an embarrassment.
What's with the we? You getting out there this week and doing fucking practices with them?
Yeah, I have to. Listen, I would help them out at this point. That's how bad we've been.
What do you got this week? What kind of shows you got?
This Thursday, I'll be at the Loft in Chicopee. It's a good Jewish deal. We have for $20 you get a buffet and a comedian.
So I'm there on
it changes every week. Sometimes it's chicken, sometimes it's steak. They got veggies. It's a fun deal.
Mystery meat?
No, I've never, knock on wood, because I always eat it. I've never gotten sick. I love going to places where there's not much else to do, which is exactly what Chicopee is, and they're so much fun. And then next week Friday and Saturday this week I don't have anything right now. Thursday through Saturday next week I'm in Omaha with Josh Wolf.
You know, right now you're doing the best thing you can with stand-up comedy. You're living on your rules, on your terms. You've got a day job. You're not worried about fucking headshots like they were in LA already. You're not worried about your resume. All you're worried about is getting on stage every night. And this is the best time of your life. I think for me, if I have to look back, that was the best time of my life. 91 to 95, fucking getting in a car with 4 of your friends. And even in Seattle was where I really learned I was a true open micer up there that became a feature act up there, not in whatever. When I went up there, I was already kind of featuring 25 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but going up there, that camaraderie I had with Brody and Josh and Tana Manu and Mitch Hedberg and Stanhope, it was I'll never have that. I never had that again. So when you're driving to these gigs and you're thinking, fuck, I can't wait, take your time. Take your time.
I've heard other people say, you've said it before, I have a really, and it's not even just stand up. In life, I have a hard time being patient, and I'm really trying. I'm really trying to enjoy it, but
Lee,
I
you know
see.
me. You think I was patient, my friend?
No, probably
Okay.
not.
I'm telling you, you have no disrespect. You have Jewish neuroticisms, whatever those fucking things are, neurosis, whatever it is, where you go crazy like Felix Unger. So you don't need it. I mean, with you, I get it. And with me, I'm not gonna lie to you, we wanted everything to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want everything to be perfect, but that's why it's stand-up comedy. It's not gonna be perfect. A waitress is gonna drop a glass. Audience member is gonna puke. Audience member is gonna pass out on edibles. We've seen that a couple
Oh
of
yeah.
times the last 10 years, you and I. You experience a lot of different audiences. Don't ever blame it on the audience. Blame it on yourself. You tried to be. How many nights have you gone up there with too much ego? And you know how many nights I would kill on Tampa? I would kill at the Miami Improv for a whole weekend. I was a feature act. People come up to me, light cigarettes with me, give me cocaine. And that Sunday when I landed in Miami, when I landed in LA, I couldn't wait to go down to the Comedy Store to talk shit on how I slayed Miami, and then I'm going to go up there and do a spot and lead. You know that 9 out of 10 times I would die the slowest death of all fucking time. Did you know that? And that's the God honest fucking truth. I would just die on stage.
And would it just deflate you, or would you think like fuck them, or like what would you
You
think
would
after
go,
that?
what the fuck? I just did the same set I did the last 5 fucking nights, and it killed every night. And now at the Comedy Store, I died. You know what the answer was? I walked in there with too many big balls. I had to humble myself. So since I didn't humble myself, the comedy humbled me for me. And you get that from time to time. You know what that does to you? But all these little things are just all a part of the fucking journey. And you turn into one big scab. I'm just one big scab. Look at my face. I got scabs on my elbows, scabs on my knees. I got scabs on my ball sack. But most importantly, I got all the scabs from fucking getting beat up and stand up. And one day your body just becomes a fucking scab, and now they can't do nothing to you. The infection's gone, you're done. Now I got to go move forward. Right or wrong, the infection's gone. I got a thick scab over the cut. You know, that's what we are. As a comic, you're just going to become one large fucking scab of pain, of you're not funny enough, you're not tall enough, you're too old, you're too young, you're not, for reasons got nothing to do with your talent. Think about that. You saw it. Got nothing to do with your talent. They'll come to you and go, well, you're not funny because you're fat. We don't think fat people are funny. Okay. And now you got to go home, eat a sandwich, and come back even fucking stronger and light their little mom and pop shop on fire.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, and I know you're right, but you're right. I want everything. Not only do I want to be perfect, but I want I I just sit sometimes on like the drive home from shows, and I just imagine what it's gonna be like. And I know this doesn't mean anything, but to have someone booking shows for me, to have like just someone who can call me and have like a full calendar. Like next
You're
week, I'm
10
here
years
next.
away. You're 10 years away
I
from that.
know I am, and that kills me.
That
It,
don't
and
even
I
let
don't.
that
I'm not even
fly.
talking about
And guess
headlining.
what? When you have that person, you're still gonna have to book your own gigs. How's that for
But
you? Because they're gonna
and
call you with some crazy offers, and then you got to tame them off the roof and go, whoa, 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 whoa. This is what fucking Syatt is doing. So don't worry about that. Right now, just worry about fucking writing, having a great time, and do something I never did when I walked into a comedy club.
What's
Do
that?
something I never did. Walk in, stop at the door. I don't give a fuck if they look at you or not. Look around the room, and this is for you and every other young comic that's getting into comedy, or you're in the 3-year mark, or the 4-year mark, or even the 5 or 6-year mark. I'm gonna give you the best advice that nobody ever gave me. I just did it myself. And when I found out about this, it changed everything. You're gonna walk into a comedy club, close the door like a gentleman. Look, some people are gonna look at you, you're gonna wave, but before you bust that next move, you know how you stand there and you look and you go, hey, Timmy, hey, Marty, hey, Johnny, hey, Joey. When you see that person before you move, I want you to breathe, take a pause, and go, no matter what happens tonight, no matter what happens tonight, it doesn't matter, because at the end, they're all going to suck my dick. And that's the attitude. Whether you have a great set, whether you got a standing ovation, whether you bomb, all you know is whatever happens tonight, you'll be here tomorrow night too, and the night after that. And no matter what happens, all these motherfuckers that are looking to put you down, oh, he did a stolen joke. You know, there's all I heard Ryan Philippe do that joke and fucking whatever. After all that bullshit and all the years, you're not an amateur. Somebody gave you $5, you can't enter the contest. It's that you're scaring people. When all that shit happens, it's that you're starting to scare people. You're going outside the normal circle. And that's a complete education that we'll get to another time. But from now on, do what I didn't do. Do what I did years later, and I wish I would have done it from day one. Walk in, breathe, Jim Morrison, take a look around, say which way the wind blow. With a little girl, no, forget it. Just take a look around and which way the wind blow. Notice whoever you have to meet. Hey, how are you? And right there in your mind, before you, as your body's stepping forward, that motion that we do right there, no matter what happens tonight, doesn't matter. Because eventually all these motherfuckers are going to be sucking my dick. I'll see you next week, cocksucker, but we'll talk during the week.
I love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy. And now for a word from our sponsors. Stay black.